It's Tuesday night. That dude right there, Mark Haynes, joins yours truly. It's Bleav in Dude, how the hell are you doing, brother? You ready?
Hey, I'm ready, man. I've been excited all day. I've been waiting on this, man. I miss you. A week is too long.
Brother, if you ever want to do more, just say when, man. This is my gig. I'm available for everyone else. So you tell me if you want to do more than once a week. I'm doing it. But for today's show, Bleav in Kings, obviously. Uh Golden Daze. It's the I-80 crossover right there. We got a graphic.
I-80
We're
crossover.
rolling. Yeah, let's do this. Mark Haynes. People can follow you at Mark Haynes NBA on social media platforms. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir, man. Mark Haynes, NBA everywhere. You can find me doing good, man. The weather was odd today. It's not hot, so I'm appreciative of that. But it looked like it
Muggy.
was gonna rain. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird,
Yeah,
but
dude.
good day. Good day.
You got that humidity in the air, dude. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
rolling. And I want to let the Golden Dazers know that they should subscribe to your channel, Mark. Bleav in Kings is part of the Closers Sports Network. It's the main hub, the main YouTube channel. All people have to do to find that channel on YouTube is go to just search Closer Sports. It's really easy to find. When I type just those two words, Closer Sports, and I'll try to get a graphic for future shows so that people can actually see a visual accompanying this. But subscribe to Closer Sports. Bleav in Kings is there. It's the I-80 crossover. I know in some ways our teams are rivals, but we're also got a bond with the NorCal connection. Dude, start it off with your audience, brother. Let's appeal to the nation, not the nation, the state's capital. What have the Kings been up to, man? Training camp's 20 days away.
Right. Hey, the training camp's been is right around the corner. And not
19
much is
days.
happening as far as roster construction going. We're still waiting to see what dominoes will go fall. But what did happen over the weekend? Shout out to my man Keegan Murray, got married over the weekend. Taking a big step into a whole new world. We'll see how that maybe that impacts him positively. This coming up season. And then a sad thing, we go from happy to sad or whatever. The Sacramento Kings organization lose a major piece. I say, man, I was gonna say key, a major piece, a fan favorite, a guy of a finals MVP. And when I say finals MVP, of course, the Sacramento Kings haven't won an NBA championship, but I'm talking about the NBA G League that was won by the championship that was won by the Stockton Kings. Mason Jones signed a 1-year deal in Australia. So he is out the door. Good luck to him. But that's about it that's going on in Sacramento. Other than that, we're all still waiting by the phone, waiting for an alert from X and or a phone call. Hopefully I could break some news. I would like that. But yeah, we're all waiting out here in the 916, and that's been the story so far.
And the 916 for people unfamiliar, the area code of SAC. And dude, like, what are you waiting for exactly? When I hear you say that, it makes me curious because the Kings, I think, have a full roster. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I mean, if the season started today, they have enough players to field the team, right?
Yeah.
So what are you waiting on? Are you waiting on a big trade? Are you waiting on Kuminga? What do you need in your life as a Kings fan that's missing?
Yeah. I just think everybody out here believes, and myself included, that this isn't going to be the opening day roster. I think something's going to happen. Like you said, they'll be good to go, as if needed. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think something's going to happen. I don't know. I don't. From day one, when I heard about the Kuminga stuff, I was like, man, I think that's a real long shot. I was like, Kuminga's in a situation where he's probably gonna be stuck, even if he want to go.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be stuck. But obviously, it'll be nice to see him out here. But that one thing out, that's sitting out there, and some fans. I wouldn't say many fans love it, and some fans won't hate it. But is Russell Westbrook gonna be a Sacramento King? I think that's the one thing we're out here waiting to see. That's gonna be the next time we have some actual news, if that deal happens, or however it happens. I don't know how it happened, but Scott Perry got some strings to pull if he gonna make that happen.
Yeah, because I saw a report that said Westbrook wants more than the veteran minimum. I mean, good luck with that. We've seen speculation Ben Simmons is likely going to retire because this is the modern NBA, man. It's
Right.
so talent heavy that you're going to see some great players sign elsewhere, internationally in most cases. I think. Case in point, brother, Trey Lyles.
Yeah,
is making good cash, but not here in the U.S. Where did he go again? Do you know?
I forget where it went, but yeah, overseas. And I was surprised. I how things went, and especially last year or whatever, and then during the off season. I think you were the first person all summer that's asked me about him. Like nobody was talking about Trey Lyles, and I remember you asked me. He was like, "What are they gonna do with Trey Lyles?" And I was like, "You know what? He is gonna be a free agent coming up." Like nobody has mentioned Trey Lyles, and then now we see he's took a deal to go overseas, which is good luck to him, good for him. But I didn't see that. I thought he'd still be here.
So I looked it up. Here's the image right now, so we can kind of have a little aesthetic while we're talking about Trey Lyles. He is going to Spain, and this graphic reveals, courtesy of Sports Kita, that 10-year veteran Trey Lyles. And again, that is not a good picture, brother. Cut the hair. I mean, that's like LeBron right before the plugs, dude. It's like when it's getting like that, dude. You got to. I mean, Moses Moody's another one. It's like. Look, man, I'm going to lose someday. I'm getting there. It's a miracle. At 47, I still, dude, it's a miracle, bro. But it happens to the best of us. Trey, brother, you got to do something. You got too much money to just let it look like that. Anyways, Real Madrid in Spain is where he's going. And I think I saw somewhere else that he's got a good paycheck. It's something like $8 million a year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Rick Bucher was on Golden Daze a couple weeks ago, and he was bringing up the fact that he was talking about Gary Payton II, because we have no idea what's going to happen to him, right? Like one reporter out there, Jake Fisher, says that GP2 will likely come back to the Warriors. Then you have guys like Anthony Slater, I think Sam Amick, who are publicly saying the Warriors are not interested in bringing him back. But GP2 is kind of like lingering around. I know his dad's from Oakland. But GP2 is also close with his teammates. He's an incredible chemistry guy.
Yeah.
And I brought it up with Rick, and I'm like, dude, like, what's your take on all the mixed messaging and the fact that, nobody seems to have a grasp of where these players are going? It's mostly just gossip and just borderline paparazzi crap. And he brought up, he's like, well, look, if you're GP2, your options are pretty much hang around and hope you get lucky and they sign you, or go to Moscow. And it's like, when you put it like that, I get it. I can see why he's just hanging around.
Right.
It's Moscow, dude. But that's the reality, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, no. And when you say Moscow, I don't even, no disrespect to them, but I don't even think of basketball. Like, that's, yeah. And this, like, man, GP, his story is so awesome, dude. Like, he was a guy, obviously everybody in the Bay knows about him or whatever, but a guy who struggled to just be in the league, and now what are we, 10 years later or whatever, where he's lingering around. He's a guy that's he can be a valuable piece on a really good team, who can, he's a real good glue guy, or whatever, real good locker room guy or whatever. But he's been around this long, won championship. Like, it's dope, man. That's one great story.
And just like you said, dude, his teammates love him. He's just a fun dude. Something tells me if you have a bachelor party lined up, you want to invite GP2. He's not going to bring the party down, that's for sure. But at the same time, it's like his defense isn't where it was a couple years ago when he was arguably the best defender in the NBA. But what he was doing that 2021-22 season when the Warriors won the championship, GP2's defense, Andrew Wiggins turning into the number one pick for a brief moment. It was just magical, man. The shit's got to come together like that to win a chip. So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
in the present day, fast forward 3 years later, and you might stick around, you might go to Moscow, dude. The Trey Lyles part of this, though, bro. I am so frustrated, Mark, with the NBA because of the fact that they just keep kowtowing, and I'm referencing more specifically Adam Silver here, to the small market owners, to the less prosperous owners in the NBA,
Right.
the ones that are penny pinching, and I'm
Mhm.
always going to call out Jerry Reinsdorf first and foremost, because to have a team in one of the biggest markets in this country, Chicago, which is, I think, safe to say, the number 3 media market and otherwise in the United States. And to have your team in that market, to have the history of Jordan and the titles and the dynasty, and just act like you're poor and just act like mediocrity is fine. Like, I literally sympathize with those fans. It's sad, dude. It's pitiful that we have owners like that, not just behaving the way they do, but having control over the game, where they literally do not want to split up their revenue share more than they already are. They don't want to give up the 1/30th that they currently get and have that slivered down to 1/32nd or 1/34th. Never mind the expansion fees that would be also bringing a lot of revenue for them. It's petty, man, and it's limiting the growth of the game. There's too much talent at this point to not expand. And if you're talking about like the popularity of the game here in the States and ways to make it grow, you really think having more teams is not going to help? Like, you don't think adding teams in Vegas, bringing a team back to Seattle, maybe even bringing 2 more, like St. Louis, Pittsburgh, wherever the other markets are, you don't think having teams in those areas aren't going to suddenly add millions more people with vested emotional interest in the game? But no, you have this handful of petty, like cheap ass frugal owners who don't want that 1/30 of the split more. It's such an annoyance, a peeve. And so I know we're going to be doing a new pet peeve segment at the end of every show.
I'm about to say you
We've got
started it
peeves.
early.
But that's not the one I'm going to go with. But my point is, dude, it's a shame, brother. There's too much talent to not expand, I think.
Nah, you're right. Nah, I think, especially when you're seeing the success that, Seattle has had, back in the day or whatever. That was a great basketball city. And you look at everything going on in Las Vegas, it's no way there's not basketball fans there. And, if even with just the amount of traffic that's going on in Las Vegas, like, it makes a lot of sense. But I think for sure you add more teams. This is one of the best sports in the world. This is one of the most popular sports in the world, like hands down or whatever. So like, why not? But again, those small market owners would have to, give up some money, and that's always gonna be a problem.
And James Dolan, who apparently has like a vendetta against Adam Silver now and votes no on everything. It's crazy, and he's one of the 30. Just raising hell in the chat here. Karina Sims writing down: did you know all NBA teams make the same amount of money? Yes, from the media rights perspective, but where it differentiates is ticket sales, merchandise sales. The regional sports networks play a huge part in terms of a disparity financially. But yes, in terms of media rights, they make all the same amount. And that number would dip slightly for every team if you expanded. And this is where I feel like the league is being very short-sighted, man. It's kowtowing to these small market teams. Dude, even Mexico City. Dude, and again, I don't know if that would be the best idea, but my point is just the expansion, all that's going to do is grow your game. Like what are you doing here? I just don't get it at all. Mark, I'm ready to start a campaign, and I have no idea if you agree with me on this topic or not. And we're obviously going to talk about Josh Giddey because that contract affects the Warriors big time, and the Jonathan Kuminga situation. And your perspective is very valuable because you not only cover the Kings currently with Bleav in Kings and so forth, but you used to cover the Warriors once upon a time, not that long ago. So when it comes to the NBA and the Warriors, brother, you are marquee in terms of opinions and perspective, and this is why one of many reasons why I treasure this collaboration that we're doing. We're going to talk about that in just a second in terms of the Warriors, and maybe the Kings are still in the running for Kumminga. Who knows? But I want to start a campaign, Mark. It's called, I'm calling it Scrap the Cap. I'm done with this NBA salary cap, dude. I'm done. I want it out. I don't see what the point is anymore, dude. There is so much disparity, societally speaking, where the haves and the have-nots. There's never been a bigger gap, right? And that top 1% has so much wealth. It's ridiculous how much more resources they have than everyone else. That to still play this game in 2025 of the owners can't afford it. Never mind that we're supposedly living in a capitalistic society where we're supposed to be embracing a free market. And I brought this up with Sophia Jones yesterday. It's funny how everyone loves to buy all in on a free market and no regulation until those at the top start getting screwed. Then we start introducing rules, right? And the salary cap's a perfect example of that. It's there strictly to prevent owners from spending more than they want to. And it's hard for them to keep themselves in check because they want to be competitive, right? If another player gets a lot of money, you want to keep up and the spending goes out of control. Well, guess what? This current landscape sucks. The salary cap is not fan friendly. You're seeing talented players leave. This whole thing is a nightmare. I'm saying just end the cap. No more rules. Do it like they do in baseball. If Stephen Curry wants $200 million a year and someone's willing to pay it, God bless you. Take that cash and then buy yourself an NBA team somewhere. If you're an owner who can't afford to give Stephen Curry $200 million a year, sell your goddamn team. There's a billionaire out there who will buy your team and spend that money. This will also add accountability to the owners who are cheap, right? Because right now, Jerry Reinsdorf can tell his fans, hey, look, I got a cap to deal with. I can't just buy whatever I want and field a great team. The fault's on the GM, the fault's on the scouts and coaches. But if you're not spending when everyone else is, now the focus is on you, right? John Fisher is a villain largely because there was no salary cap and that dude was cheap and never spent. I want that accountability back. I want a scrapping of the rules. Who cares if a player gets $200 million a year? At this point, what does that matter? So scrap the cap. That's my I'm campaigning officially. Your thoughts?
I like that scrap the cap, man. That sounds like a slogan right there. I like that. But because I agree with you or whatever. If the money's there, you should be able to spend it. As simple as that. That'll eliminate when like we talked about, Westbrook not wanting to settle for the veteran minimum or whatever. If somebody want to pay him more than that or whatever, you should be able to, make those deals. But kind of it's on topic, but off topic, something that, and I guess this is my early pet peeve or whatever, but something that always bugs me every year is how it's like a celebration when the next person gets, this is the NBA's biggest contract ever. And it's like, all right, sure, because next season it's going to be the next one. The next season is going to be the next one. It's nothing special about it. It's just really who's a free agent this year. He's going to get the biggest check. And I'm definitely tired of when it's made such a big deal or whatever. The money's going up and it's just going to keep going every year. Doesn't mean the player is the best player in the league or blah, 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 whatever. But I just had to get that off my chest. It was weighing heavy on me all summer.
Well, Devin Booker, I think, is a perfect example of that. He signed an extension this last offseason, and he's going to start collecting over $70 million annually. It's going up regardless. I'm just saying, enough of the rules, dude. If you're trying to grow the game and if you're trying to make the NBA successful, make it more fan friendly and start with an elimination of confusing people about what your team can do and not do every offseason because of these archaic, I don't know if archaic is the right word, but there's certainly asinine rules that are in place again to protect the owners. And dude, it's wild, man. And this players union, for them to just agree to this current CBA that screwed over a lot of players, dude, there is just ineptitude all across the board, brother. It's wild. By the way, I'm looking at your team right now, the Sacramento Kings, and ESPN has Keon Ellis listed on the depth chart as the starting point guard. Malik Monk is just listed as out with an injury. Is Malik Monk going to be available when training camp starts? Let's start there.
From my understanding, there's nothing wrong with Bleav. But I guess that's something to fish around for tomorrow. As soon as I wake up.
Well,
because
this also could just be ESPN just
throwing
being
something out. Yeah, but from my understanding, yeah, he just played in a like an open gym recently out here with Bleav with Sac State or some of the Sac State players or whatever or whatnot. So no, I think he's good. He got a new hairdo. He got dreads now, so yeah, I think he's all right.
And you mentioned a moment ago, Keegan Murray got married. What's the old adage? Behind every good man is a good woman. I always think
Yeah.
back to the movie Dazed and Confused, and that woman was Martha Washington, man. And when George got home, he had a big fat bowl waiting for him. I totally digress, but my point is, maybe you're right. Maybe the marriage will make Keegan Murray a better man this upcoming season and a better player by default. But dude, I'm like, look, I'm bringing you an outside perspective when it comes to the Sacramento Kings. All right, so if Kings fans are watching this. This is someone who has zero emotional investment. This is just me objectively looking at this team and trying to make sense of some of the moves here. And side note, ESPN is very dated with this website. I got to look at something else because they still have Trey Lyles on the team. I got to look at. I got to go somewhere else, man. What should I do? Is NBA.com? Is that the way to go? Real GM. There's a few basketball reference. I got to leave ESPN because they have Trey Lyles. Is Jake LaRavia still on the Kings?
Yeah, so they got that's the playoffs. So yeah, Malik, I think in the playoffs he got hurt. I forget
Calf
what the
injury,
injury
right?
was, but yeah. There you go. But that's what they got. But yeah,
Okay,
LaRavia, he's
all
with
right.
the Clippers.
Let me go to the NBA's page. I'm hoping transactions there are more relevant. But here's what I'm trying to get at because I'm looking at the roster and a lot just doesn't make sense. And I'm going to start with the Zach LaVine part of this. This is a player who, whether you agree with this sentiment or not, empty stats, right? This is someone who pours in points, who can score clearly, who's gifted in almost every regard as a basketball player. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's defense. I don't know if more times than not, he's shooting when he should be passing. I don't know the reason specifically because I haven't researched the man enough, but his game doesn't translate to winning. It just never really has. I think he started his career in Orlando. I can't remember if they were winning when he was there. My point is, are you fixated on this guy? Because I feel like if you're going to move pieces, you start with him. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think the problem is like with moving, he has a massive contract. But I think no, I'm not like overly thrilled with Zach LaVine, and I think a lot of people in Sacramento probably would agree with that.
Okay.
It's not, but it's a matter of that's the best available right now. Like that's what they have to work with, and that's what's really interesting with the Kings is what are they building this season? And when you look at, like you said, when you look at the roster or whatever, it's like it's hard to see what direction they're going. Even if you do figure out how to get Westbrook, that's another question mark. It's like, where are we going with this team or whatever, and what is the plan? But Zach LaVine, he's a guy that, like you said, he could play basketball. Like nobody's, questioning that. But it doesn't equal to winning. In Minnesota, he didn't win. Chicago, he didn't win. And in some of those circumstances,
Was he in Orlando? I said Orlando. Did he play?
yeah, in Minnesota,
Oh, Minnesota. My bad. Okay,
yeah.
sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead.
But some of those losing seasons, you can't put it all on him, but he's such a good player you want to, because it's like you should be able to get your teams wins. You should be able to, make your teammates better because you have all the abilities to do that. But it just doesn't happen. And here in Sacramento, some fans, some people call, when him and DeRozan got back together, it was like Chicago 2.0 because it didn't end well there. And now it's like, everybody got their fingers crossed, hoping to see a different outcome. And I think in order for this team to be good or competitive, I think he has to be good, but I don't know if he needs to be the go-to guy. But with that being said, who becomes that go-to guy? Is outside of DeMar. He's gonna be DeMar. He's gonna be a mid-range killer. In the fourth quarter, he's gonna be who he is and who he's been his whole career. But then there's, Keegan Murray, there's Domantas Sabonis, who has his limitations offensively and things like that. It's going to be a matter of somebody else needing to step up, somebody else needing to. And I think if you can get that, I think that makes Zach LaVine better. And I think that makes Zach LaVine better. And I think it makes him look better outside of just, being the great athlete that he is. Because, when you look at Minnesota, you look at Chicago, I could say that as well. Like, we looked for him to make everybody else better, but there is nobody on those teams that can help him be better. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. You're basically saying Zach LaVine everywhere he's gone has just been like alone, basically. Like the help has not been there.
Yeah.
And look, with this Kings team, you could argue maybe Domantas Sabonis is there now, right? Giving him some help. But then again, the Sabonis also doesn't have a track record of winning outside of the one big season with the Kings when Fox was there. And DeMar DeRozan, now he did win in certain stops, but there was also other stops where he did not win. And I'm never going to forget his stint with the Raptors where LeBron James must have been salivating, dude, every time he saw that guy in the postseason. Like Mark, I lost track. I'm making this up. I lost track of how much money I won over those years. Just every time it was Cavs, Raptors, the only easier money I ever saw with betting because it wasn't just LeBron beating the shit out of the Raptors and the Rose. It was they were covering the line, dude. They were winning. They were covering that spread. They were even hitting the over routinely. It was just, dude, I was just busted, man. I don't drink Hennessy, but I would be pouring it those days if I did. I'm a Scotch guy myself. I like Hennessy actually. Did you see that clip, by the way? There's a clip out there where a dude just threw a bottle out of a car and it hit like this reporter in the back. I'll play it for you before we're done. It's a bottle of Hennessy chucked out of the back driver's side over the car. The car's moving, nails the target. I'll find it. I have to play this for the audience because it's one of those craziest things I've ever saw in my life. It'll make you laugh too. You just talking about it is funny, right? Anyways, the only easier money I ever made in my life, besides betting on LeBron to beat DeMar DeRozan, was the over on All-Star games before they brought the Elon ending. Like the Elon ending ruined that money train that lasted 25 years every year. But one, I think it was like a 25-year stretch where 1 year it went under. 24 out of 25 years. It was the easiest bet of my life, dude. Wow. And my friends and I were cashing in. Oh, those were good days. Anyways, the sorry to just go on tangents here, but it was DeMar DeRozan, dude. I mean, that was just crazy. Like LeBron just at the time of his life playing against that guy, dude. But I'm looking at this roster, man. Is there any possibility that the Kings have set all this up to tank? Because supposedly the 2026 draft is one of the deepest in NBA history. Kristen Peak was on Golden Days a couple weeks ago, and she said teams are raving about the depth of the draft. I don't know who the top picks are going to be yet, but this is supposedly a good one. Are the Kings playing for that? Because if they're not, I don't get Dennis Schroeder. I don't get Marquez Fultz. I don't get Dario Saric. There's a lot I don't get here, brother. Like, is there a small chance that this may be a tanking season? Your thoughts?
I think it might be a season where I think they're too good to land in the tank category, but I don't think they're good enough to be like really, really competitive. So I think that I think the goal, if I'm just, and this is not from talking to anybody, but if I'm just looking at it, I think the goal is to continue to sell tickets and fill those seats and be competitive on a nightly basis, to keep fans engaged. I don't think they want to have another season, back before the Beam team where, you got people buying tickets for the first 2 weeks of the season, and then after that, you're giving away tickets. Ticket prices has been high the last couple years. So if you decided to tank, that's a lot of tickets not being sold.
That's
so
true.
I think the goal is to put the best product they can out there. But I think the league has got so much better everywhere that the Sacramento Kings best might not be that good this year, which was still, if that 2026 class is that deep, it's gonna have the Kings right there in the running for, one of those top picks.
And we're going to take a quick break to show you a bottle of Henny being thrown at a TV anchor. So let me get I'll make sure to get some audio going here. So this was, I think this was in California. Just some reporters. I don't know what he was reporting about. And then just watch closely. I'll let this thing loop a few times so you can catch up.
Shut the doors right at about 8:00 tonight. Oh. From a vehicle, that is I was going to hit the back of the doors right at about 8:00 tonight.
That is aim.
Sometime from a vehicle, that is
empty, right?
I was going to hit the back of the doors right at about 8:00 tonight. I just got hit with a bottle. Sometimes from a vehicle.
Sorry for the immaturity here, but that is funny.
Yeah, sorry. Oh my
Anything
goodness.
is possible, right? Isn't that the old saying? Like, I gotta give some love to the sponsors here real fast. Decades Official, a cover band that is phenomenal. Look, if you need music for your event, this is who you go to. It's not complicated. They play everything from the 50s to today. They're downing Henny bottles in between sets. They're rocking and rolling, and they can be there for you. But all you got to do, let me get all the visuals here. There we go. There's the banner. Go to decadesofficial.com. Again, decadesofficial.com. If you're interested in contacting, again, a phenomenal band. The fact that this is their full-time job is all you need to know in terms of like their prestige, the confidence in hiring them. Eddie DeBartolo, former Niners owner, like hired them for his own set. It's amazing. They're playing every 49ers pregame party. They call those red zone rallies next to Levi's Stadium at Great America, and they can be available for you. And I'm still not sharing the screen, am I? Here's a quick visual of Decades. There we go. One more time, go to decadesofficial.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Decades Official, and email Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com. Again, Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com. If you're interested in booking this band, mention the program. They'll give you a discount. They're good people. And if you book them, thank me later. I'm confident you will. Today's episode also brought to you by FanDuel. And I'm over there on the sports book right now. Let me get our screen back on track. Last time we did a show, which was a week ago, and I know that because we're live every Tuesday night, there was no opening line for the Sacramento Kings. There is one for the Warriors, which is asinine. Although the more I think about it, the more I feel great about betting on Golden State plus 3.5 in that opening night game in LA. I don't feel good about the Lakers. Do you? Do you? Like I know the Lakers aren't in our purview of analysis, but F it. Let's talk about them for a second. I know LeBron's your boy, so maybe you are slightly well versed on the Los Angeles Lakers. Are they going to be any good this year? Because outside of Luka being a superhero, I don't see it, man. Your thoughts?
Yeah, nah, man. I think Father Time has to win at some point. And I think LeBron is going to be good, this season, long as he's healthy. But I think Father Time has caught up with LeBron as far as when it comes to, being one of the best teams in the league. And so when I hear the Lakers, I don't hear them and say like, oh, this, they're dangerous or they're a threat, So yeah, like you said, I wouldn't be opposed to betting on the Warriors in this game because, the Lakers still gonna have to figure things out. Like LeBron goes from being LeBron his whole career to now this is Luka Doncic's team, and LeBron may be the bona fide, number 2 guy, for the first time in his career. So that's going to be an adjustment, and I think that adjustment with a team that's not just like overwhelmingly good. I think the Lakers are going to have problems early on, but we'll see. Maybe LeBron got some more tricks up his sleeve. Maybe Luka work his magic and they pull some things off. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be great. I think they'll be solid.
Well, the chat is like having a whole argument that we're not a part of, and that's awesome, man. I always get a kick out of that. They're arguing about Brandon Pajemski and his value. You do in the same way that I can give fairly objective analysis about the Kings, no emotional attachment, no bias. You could probably give something similar for Warriors fans. What is your analysis of Brandon Pajemski? Do you like it like in the same way Steve Kerr does, where he starts him at the 2 position? Are you a little more pragmatic, maybe? Just what's your Brandon Pajemski?
Yeah, I've always wondered, like, I think he's a solid young player, but wasn't Kerr starting him over like Clay at some point too when he was there? So like,
and side note, Clay that reportedly rubbed Clay the wrong way.
I mean, yeah. I understand. Like, like I said, Pajemski is he's solid, but he's one of those guys that when he's good, he's solid, but when he's not good, it's just bad. It's just awful. But other than that, like, yeah, I think Steve Kerr, probably loves him too much. But
yes,
that's from the outside looking in. Maybe I'm like, maybe I don't know. But when I that
was good. That was
when I look at him, I'm like, he could play. He could definitely play, but hey.
This is my thing with pods. I don't dislike him, right? I do think he brings value. I do think he's actually a very good basketball player. The fact that the team routinely wins when he's on the court, as evident by his net rating just being an anomaly, dude. Like, it's always in the positive. This last year, though, there were finally some reality checks here and there, but still, I mean, as a rookie, he led the team in net rating. That was pretty staggering. But you can't use him the way Steve Kerr's using him. That's just like you said, dude. That's why I thought your what you said was very accurate. He's not a 2 guard for starters. He's not a starter at this point in his career. He might be. He might someday be like a starting point guard for a winning basketball team, but he's not. He's like your 5th best player when he's on the court, right? Like, he's starting, but the other 4 are like, he's setting everyone else up. He just looks like a very traditional point guard to me, who can potentially hit threes at some point in his career. That could become like a tool for him, a weapon. He grabs boards. He's tenacious. He's physical.
Yeah.
It's a huge reason why, like, I don't have this like just disdain for him the way I did for Ty Jerome.
He's a likable player. Like,
he's likable. He's physical. Like Ty Jerome, my biggest issue with him was he didn't play defense at all. Like, Ty Jerome is a fancy offensive basketball player who plays no defense, and he's not a scorer. And Brandon Pajemski is physical, dude. Like, he makes life difficult for opposing teams. He might not have the foot speed to be an elite defender and stay in front of opposing players consistently,
but he's not backing down from anybody.
Exactly, dude. And what he's bringing to the table in the interior, grabbing those tough boards, just being a physical dude that you can't really bully. I like him. I just don't like him as much as Steve Kerr likes him. That's why I thought what you said was to the team.
Right. A guy he kind of reminds me of is when you look at like OKC's Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace he's a really good player, and he's in a perfect role over there. They don't ask him to do too much, or they started him in the finals at like power forward or something, and he's 6'2" or whatever. But he's just a guy. He's tough on both ends of the floor. He's active, he's physical, whatever. Same guy, but they're not going to say, hey, we need you to go out there and knock down 5 threes, even though he has the capability of doing it. But I felt like Pajemski was just a lot of times in positions that just didn't really fit him.
Yeah. And there's an argument in the chat about I think Armando Lara, the professor, and we're going to bring him back on Golden Day soon as a guest. He's phenomenal. His Substack, I recommend checking that out. It's called Spreewell Was Right. He's a columnist for it. And don't forget as well to please subscribe to Mark Haynes' channel, The Closer Sports. Just look up Closer Sports and subscribe. You're at 446 right now, man. My agenda for you right now is to try and get you to 500. You need to get those perks. So, folks, if you're part of the Golden Daze audience, help Mark out, please. Subscribe to Closer Sports. His channel is not just Sacramento Kings content. So if you hate the Kings, he's also posting football content. And at a bare minimum, just support the man. He's a friend of Golden Daze. So help him out. I want to get you to 500 at least, because a lot of perks on YouTube when you hit that 500 number. So, but there's a debate in the chat about Pajemski starting games or playing games at the small forward position, and I'm just seeing this back and forth, and both sides are right. Like Armando Lora saying he played some games as small forward. Other people are coming back saying, "Are you crazy? I never saw him play the 3." The reality is both. He played a lot of games as part of a 3-guard lineup. Right. And positions in basketball are subjective, dude. They don't exist, actually. It's not like football or baseball where positions are very defined and there's rules pertaining to your specific position. In basketball, it's just 5 dudes. They can do whatever the hell they want. If you want 5 centers out there, you can do that. If you want 10 dudes out there, there's no rules. There's no limitations. There's nothing restricting you from being liberal about that. It's a positionless game in a lot of ways, like soccer, I think, where you could it's just the best guys. You could put them out there and good luck with that. I don't know if there's like a book or an article that kind of details where even positions came from, the origins of it. My guess is just the game was developing and they figured out this is the best formula. But I have no idea. I have not done my homework on that. Have you, in terms of why people even have labels for positions? Like, it is weird.
Right. Especially, I mean, I guess I could see it like when you look at 90s basketball and stuff like that or whatever. Like now you don't even have post players. You know, it's very few teams with post players. So, and they're not all guards. So
unless you're Sabonis, right? DeMontis Sabonis is a post player, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
He has one move. He has one move down there, you know. You know it's coming. But he got that's one move better than I got. So, but yeah, the post, you know, the big man game is just different now. Like you said, you got teams who, you know, I brought up OKC earlier or whatever. Jalen Williams last year, and I thought that was the difference between winning a championship and not. Last year, 2024 season, he was the power forward. You know, then they go the next year, they get Isaiah Hartenstein, and that kind of changed. I thought that changed everything. But, you know, he's a 6'5" power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard. I think he's naturally a point guard, but you got SGA or whatever. But nowadays, like you said, it's the 5 best players, and they're going to play. If you're 6'11", and you look at Joker, he's the point guard. He's the 7-foot point guard. You know, same with Sacramento. Like Sabonis is really the point guard. You know, but he's the biggest guy on the court.
That's fascinating. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I'm
gonna leave. By the way, we're gonna watch that Henny video again. I'm before the show ends, because that is one of the funniest things, dude. Like my ritual, I get up in the morning and first thing I do is I just wake up watching videos like that but some clips, dude, I'm like literally in tears in bed. Like I have to get out because like my face is hurting from laughing so hard. That video made me laugh endlessly, dude. And the way the guy reacted,
need to find that driver. They need to find that driver and pay him. That's good advertisement right there.
AIM, hold on, let's just watch it again because it's ridiculous. And I reposted that on my Threads account if anybody wants to, check it out for themselves. Dude, look at this, man. You're right. The AIM, that part is just insane. So here it is again. Boom. And the reporter's reaction to it is so funny, dude. He's all feminine. His hands are
right at about 8 o'clock tonight. Of some kind from a vehicle. That is
empty-handed. That probably hurt too.
Yeah, it has that bottle is special. That's a special bottle right there. Didn't even shatter. That's a well put together bottle.
Oh my god.
My Saratoga water, I'm sure this is shattering on impact. Whatever Hennessy got going on and how they build they're doing their glass out there, man. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Jeez.
Oh, the Henny. Dude, so going back to basketball, I guess we've been talking about basketball. And let's see. Well, no, except for the Henny.
Yeah.
The Josh Giddey's signed a 4-year, $100 million contract. I touched on this a little bit earlier today on Golden Days, but we did not have, we were not graced with your presence, sir, and that obviously makes things a million times better. And I didn't get into it that much either, because I was more excited about the fact that De'Anthony Melton to the Warriors is pretty much locked in now. Like it came straight from the source, Mark. Like De'Anthony Melton is putting Warriors content on his social media pages. He does that always with the teams he's playing for, and I'm going to trust that way more than any gossip that's being propagated by who knows what. So De'Anthony Melton makes number 10, and I love that addition. Meanwhile, the Kuminga saga continues, but the dominoes are falling. Cam Thomas a few days ago signed the qualifying offer. That's a scenario the Warriors do not want, because then you lose Kuminga to unrestricted free agency a year from now. He's also has a no trade clause, so you can't move him without his permission this upcoming season. And is he going to be happy? Like I mean, that's another variable that I don't understand why the Warriors would not factor that in seriously. Like, is Kuminga going to be okay with in this scenario? And you need him. You need a happy, focused Kuminga, not someone who's pissed off at your head coach and thinking about what he's going to do next offseason. Like, it would not surprise me if Kuminga started stat padding, just doing what it took to just boost his value and make that his focus more than winning with the team. Who knows? I just don't see this being a positive, like having Kuminga sign that qualifying offer. I also think that Josh Giddey getting 4 years, $100 million is terrific news for Kuminga, because now you're re-entering that negotiation with this fresh contract that your peer just signed, where he's getting $100 million guaranteed. The $25 million a year, I think Kuminga would be happy with. What he's not happy with is the lack of guarantees from the Warriors. Just to remind people again, and Mark, I'm sure you know this as well, the offer that the Warriors have presented to Kuminga, 2 years, $45 million. And what makes this particularly a bad faith offer is that under the current CBA, 2 years, $45 million to Kuminga would trigger a no trade clause for him. This is a protection that the players got. The Warriors will not offer this contract unless he agrees to waive the no trade clause. And they're not guaranteeing the full 45. They're only guaranteeing year 1. Year 2 is a team option. Kuminga is not going to sign that. I don't know what the Warriors are doing. What are you thinking about this mess, man?
Right now, that's what I was wondering. You kind of touched on that a little bit about, like, the Warriors keeping Kuminga and you keep unhappy Kuminga. Like, we seen, how Ben Simmons was with Philly and those, was that Philly? I mean, in multiple teams, like how bad Ben Simmons has been with different organizations, whether it's like, oh, I'm hurt, I'm not playing or whatever. And that's again, like Kuminga he's a piece that the Warriors need. You need him on the court. You need him playing at a high level. You need him playing team basketball and buying in to whatever his role is going to be next season. What you don't need is a guy who, like you said, stat padding, or a guy who's not giving effort because he's like, I'm going to just, go into free agency next year and I'll get my money then, or teams, because that's the other thing too. A lot of teams see this, like, well, everybody sees it. Not a lot of teams. Everybody sees what's going on as far as, Kuminga could get 5 to 6 DMPs in a row, and then the one game he's playing, he's getting ISOs. You're calling ISOs for him and giving him the ball. It's like, I've never seen a guy come off of multiple DMPs and then you're calling plays for him or whatnot. But it's from the outside looking in, it doesn't look right. But what do you think is going on there as far as what they want to do? Because as far as the contracts, it's not making sense. It's a bunch, Kuminga's looking, like you said, Josh Giddey just got $100 million. And
my guess is, because you're right, dude, something smells funny, something seems off. My guess is there's something we don't know that the Warriors know, and whether that's some line of communication with LeBron and Joe Lacob is dreaming of pairing LeBron and Steph together. So maybe they could both win a 5th championship together in San Francisco. Joe Lacob's all about entertainment. Peter Guber, the co-owner, people always forget he has just as much power. I know he doesn't have the governor title, but he has equal shares as an owner alongside Joe Lacob. And Peter Guber is literally a showman, dude. The guy would produce Batman, the Michael Keaton version. There was a movie just recently. Was it Thunderbolts? It's a really big Hollywood film. And right at the beginning of the credits, it was all Peter Guber. It's like, oh shit, like he's still doing this. My point is they're all about entertainment. In addition to, I mean, he likes to win, and I love that about a Joe Lacob. He does want to win genuinely, and that's huge, man. Not every owner has that attitude, but there's something off here. I totally feel you on that, and the fact that the Warriors want to put themselves in a position where they can make a move next offseason. That's the whole reason why they don't want to guarantee anything for Kuminga beyond this year. Mm-hmm. They want to leave the option open to add somebody big next offseason, or maybe in the middle of this season where they can trade Kuminga. But again, if he signs that qualifying offer, you're shit out of luck in that department. And I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's LeBron. I don't know if it's Giannis. But if that's what the plan is, if that's what's going on here, and that's what the hopes and dreams are of the Warriors to keep the option alive of maybe getting Giannis or LeBron, look, I mean, you dream big. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. That's great. But be realistic, right? Like don't let your idealism like take you into a fantasy land here. Like Steph turns 39 next season, right? And that's what you're planning ahead for. You're planning like you're potentially screwing everything up this season with this Kumminga mess so that you could have the luxury to surround a 39-year-old Steph, a 37-year-old Jimmy Butler, a 37-year-old Draymond, who at that point are going to be well past their peak. And that's what you're saving all this for, and without any guarantees. Now, if Giannis or LeBron have communicated to Joe that this is going to happen and they just can't do it at this moment, then okay. Then there's some logic behind all this. But that's the only scenario I could see justifying the way they're treating Kuminga, because this is crazy, man. This is absolutely batshit crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you look at just that draft class or whatever, he's still one of the, like, obviously there's other guys who have better numbers because he wasn't a full-time starter, or I don't know how many games he started last year. Last year was just bizarre. But when you look at it, it's not a lot of guys in that draft class that you would take right now over Jonathan Kuminga.
I mean, dude, that draft class was incredible, first of all.
And it was really good.
It was really good. Dude. It was. And I have the numbers again. I'll show this for the audience and yourself. Cade Cunningham, who was the number 1 pick that year. And again, this is a huge point of contention. These numbers that I pull up, I also included the minutes per game, right? So these players are all getting an opportunity. They're getting paid. So Cade Cunningham, $314 million guaranteed. Keep in mind, he got that money before he really showed his true potential. Like, remember his first 2 years, he was battling injuries. Like, he was surrounded by just anemic talent. So we had no idea if he was going to actually live up to the hype. And thankfully he is now. But he got that money before anyone knew for sure. And this is, again, a point of ire for Kuminga. Jalen Green, the number 2 pick, got $146 million guaranteed. He's averaging 32.7 minutes per game. The number 3 pick, Evan Mobley. I mean, look, Evan Mobley's awesome, but I don't think even he's reached his potential yet. And he's got $305 million guaranteed. Now, the Scotty Barnes part, there's a few players where it's little eyebrow raising, right? Like Scotty Barnes, $257 million guaranteed, and he might be something special, but I don't know if he's gone there yet. Jalen Suggs is another one, $180 million guaranteed. And he's one of the few whose minutes are closer to Kuminga's. Jalen Suggs averaging 26.4 minutes per game. Josh Giddey just got the new $100 million contract, so we can change that $27 million to $127 million. I'll update that in a little bit. And then Kuminga, who's earned up until this point $25 million total. I mean, that's a vast chasm that separates Kuminga from what all these other players have made so far, man. Like, if you can't see why Kuminga's upset from this, then you're lost. I give up. I'm not going to reach you ever. But the part that's craziest to me is that 22 minutes per game, 18th in his draft class, 22 minutes per game, man. Like that does not make sense. And that is why he's so done with Steve Kerr. Franz Wagner is the final one that I have for some. Actually, I have all the top 10 here. Franz Wagner, who was 8th in the draft class, he's played 32.3 minutes per game in his career. He's earned $247 million. And rounding out the top 10, Davion Mitchell was the 9th pick in that year's draft. And even he's made more than Kuminga so far. He's earned $45 million, including the current contract that he signed with Miami. And then Zaire Williams. Even Zaire Williams I know Kuminga is going to eventually make more than him, but this does not reflect Zaire's new contract that he just signed. And Zaire Williams was the 10th pick out of Stanford. He's averaged less minutes than Kuminga, but he's made more so far. Dude, and Kuminga's pissed. I mean, I don't blame him. I just don't blame him.
Isn't Trey Murphy in there too? At 17?
He's way down there. Alperen Şengün is down there in that same draft. And honestly, the Moses Moody pick was a little surprising to me when you look at those players who dropped further. Like Chris Duarte was in that draft.
Yeah.
There's a few others.
That was a good
draft. It was
draft.
a fantastic draft, dude. And by the way, I saw a comment here from Desireo, who's a Golden Dazer. And I love it, man. He comes in and fights with differing opinions, but he's super respectful. Love the dude. And he comes in with this hot take saying, bro, this channel has the most radical Warriors fans. I've never heard insane opinions like this. And Desireo, I cannot express this to you enough, man. What you wrote represents how effed up the Bay Area media scene is, dude. It is not this channel. It's the fact that we have an entire market just full of just like sycophants, dude. Like people who are literally just like caring far more about preserving their job than reporting the truth and being accurate. It's, dude, that's the reflection here. I can understand you thinking it's radical because every other show just thinks Steve Kerr's perfect. Like they think he's infallible. It's insane, dude. But that's how they roll. And anyways, sorry for beating this topic to death here.
Nah, you good.
But yeah, it is a crazy mess, man. Yeah, I mean, and even you, Mark, as an outsider, relatively speaking, a Kings fan, I love that even you see this is just insane. This is just, I mean, the Warriors have done nothing this offseason. Training camps in 19 days. Literally have done nothing except for drafting 2 second-round picks. That's it. I've never seen anything like this in my life, ever. Like, it's some gnarly shit, man. I hope it gets resolved soon. Bruce Morrow. Oh, sorry. You're saying in this economy, we can't lose the jobs in terms of the media folks preserving themselves. Anyways, I wanted to bring up one other thing. We didn't talk about this last week. And that's the Steve Ballmer situation with the Clippers.
Oh, yeah.
The last time a team got busted for circumventing the salary cap, I think was 2000, when the Minnesota Timberwolves had an under the table contract to former number 1 pick, 4-year Golden State Warriors in 95 or 96, Joe Smith. Again, they had a complete contract under the table. I forgot how it got exposed. Minnesota lost 5 first-round picks. As that was the punitive damage levied to them by the NBA. 5. I mean, it damaged. This was Kevin Garnett's prime. He got screwed over. I mean, I think he got penalized more than anyone else because, I mean, his legacy took a hit. Thankfully, he played for the Celtics and won a chip. But my point is, the Clippers, I want them to burn. I want them to go down, dude. I want them to lose. First of all, I don't think they have a first-round pick until 2030. So I don't even know how you're going to penalize them exactly. But Mark, dude, what's your take on this? It's hilarious because who else is going to do this besides Kawhi Leonard? It's fascinating, and the Clippers are in our division, so I hope they burn, man. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, again, it's a bizarre situation or whatever that, it's when you seen it, when it first got reported, it was like, I imagine stuff like this going on around the league or whatever that, it's these are, billionaires. Steve Ballmer, the richest, NBA owner in the league. And,
is he number 1?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe
Yeah.
And this I didn't look it up, his net worth or
Makes sense.
anything, but I seen like it's not even close from what I seen. But so I would imagine things like this are going on, throughout the league. You would hope not, but I imagine it would. But when it comes to like penalizing them or whatever, like maybe that's why they went all in. Maybe that's why they're so loaded right now with talent. That's why they don't have a first round pick till 2030. It's like, yeah, go ahead and everybody take that deal. I could be good for 5 years and I'll worry about the penalties later or whatever. Like
Right.
you could I'll pay taxes later. That's but I think the NBA is gonna have to get really creative with how they handle this, because now it's something that you want to nip in the bud and make sure that other teams know this is something we're not going to play with. Like, you can't tread lightly about this.
Here's another option: scrap the cap. Then this is not an issue. Who cares? Just give these guys what they want, man. Like what this look, it's a big issue because the rules exist. Get rid of these rules. Just get rid of these goddamn rules. Enough. And I do find it comical that Kawhi Leonard's uncle Dennis, who is notorious for just squeezing every last drop out of any team that's negotiating for Kawhi, man. Like he's in the mix again. Uncle Dennis. That is hilarious, dude. You and I talked before we started recording that we're going to wrap every show up from now on. We go live every Tuesday at approximately 8:39 in that range. We started a little late tonight. That was my fault. My apologies for that. We're going to finish every show with our pet peeves. What the hell is bugging us, right? And
let's just stay calm here. Don't get all crazy on me.
We're trying to stay calm, but some things just drive us up the wall. Mark, I'll bow to you, sir, to kick off the segment. What drives you absolutely insane? What is your pet peeve for this week?
Now, my pet peeve this week is something I like. I'm a gentleman. Those who have met me, ladies who have met me, y'all know I'm a gentleman. And one thing that men are supposed to do for women all the time, every time, no matter what, is when you walk it through a door, you let the woman go first. So you hold it's manners. I hold the door open.
Yeah.
Now, my pet peeve has nothing to do with the women. Has nothing to do with the ladies. It has to do with the men. Because what'll happen a lot of times, and y'all like think about it, and maybe this is just me, but you open the door for a lady and maybe she's with her husband or whatever. And so you hold it for him too, because they're together. I'm not gonna step in between them or whatever. But just like the lady, when I open the door, like before she goes in, she says thank you because I'm opening it. When the man or the husband comes in, he thinks he could just walk straight in. It's like, hold on, first off, I'm not holding the door for you, I'm holding it for her. But since you're getting I deserve a thank you. So that's my pet peeve this time. And it's been, a bunch of times where I had to restrain myself from, requesting a thank you from me. I got to be a bigger man there, but that's my pet peeve, man.
So, and are they also getting in front of you in line when you let them in like that, or are they at least being respectful enough to be aware that you were there first? So whatever the line is, they're letting you go in front, because I feel like that's an added insult. If they
that's where usually I think, because they kind of after a while they realize we're going to the same place. And they kind of catch my facial expression, and they know what they did earlier, and that's when I think it clicks in. Like, yeah, we probably should let you go first. But that's my pet peeve.
I like it. That's a good peeve. And my peeve for the week is for look, it's and part of what we discussed before in our pre-show meeting was making sure these peeves are not broad, like they're not obvious. For example, like mine's going to be a driving one, but it's not going to be slow drivers, get the hell out of the way. Like, you're annoying, you peeve me, although you should. I mean, the furthest left lane is for passing, and that's how the order works. don't be in the far left lane if you're not the fastest driver. Pull the hell over. But no, in this case, it's going to be a little more specific. I don't know how many of you folks out there live in a setting that requires any distance of driving on a one-lane road, right? And look, passing lanes exist, but sometimes there's long stretches where there is no passing lane and you're just stuck behind whoever's in front of you going slower. My pet peeve is that one car that has a train of like 10 behind them and they're just rolling at that speed and they're breaking the law because most likely they're below the speed limit. And the fact that they just don't give a shit and they're just strolling like that's your problem, not mine, that I'm slowing you down in life. Like, dude, that's a peeve. Like, just if you're on a one-lane road and you see in that mirror there's a bunch of cars behind you, just pull the hell over, dude. Just let them pass, man. Don't be a selfish a-hole stealing time, the most precious commodity that we have, from other people. Pull over, take a sip of Henny, and just make the world a better place, please.
Pull over and take a sip of Henny.
That clip is incredible. I still watch it all the time, dude. We got to watch more time before we go. This is the Henny again. And again, I don't know where this was, but it's
right at about 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh!
I just got hit with a bottle.
Notice the cameraman does not care about the car.
I just got hit in the back of the doors right at about 8 o'clock tonight.
Not the car. The cameraman is hilarious.
I just got hit in the back of the doors.
He understood the assignment.
I just got hit with a bottle.
He understood.
Of some kind.
Oh, one last thing before we go, dude. I forgot to bring this up on FanDuel here. FanDuel's odds for the Sacramento King to make the playoffs in the 2025-26 season. Yes is plus 390. No is minus 650. Meaning the Sacramento Kings are heavy favorites to not make the playoffs. Your thoughts on that bet?
That's a good one. I would man, I'm gonna have to see how everything lines up. Give me the training camp, but
right.
I'm gonna say I think right now I'm gonna stick with them being in the play-in. I don't think they're that bad. I think they're.
So you're saying no. You're gonna say no. Ultimately, you think play-in and then they'll lose in the play-in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're talking about the playoffs in general.
Correct.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So no. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm with it.
And the Warriors, along that same line, their odds to make the playoffs, yes, minus 270, no, plus 194. And again, keep in mind the Warriors currently have 9 players under contract. One team real fast that I want to give some love to, that they're a team that I think is going to make some noise this year, man, which may sound crazy to some people, and I get it because they're an anemic franchise. They're the butt of every joke. The Washington Wizards have now first of all, the odds for them not to make the playoffs, courtesy of FanDuel, minus 50,000. That means you have to bet $5,000 to win $1 for them not to make the playoffs. You're not going to make that bet, clearly, but if you bet on the Wizards to make the playoffs, it's plus 3,500, meaning you bet $1, you win 350. I like those odds. And the Wizards have one specific player that I've fallen in love with, and is it Alex Sarr? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Dude, this guy is going to be a menace. If there's any way the Warriors could have gotten him, I would have been a mad proponent, but I don't think the Wizards are going to give him up. Anyways, I just saw those lines for them making the playoffs. I think they're going to be good this year. I know that's random.
And I'm biased. I like AJ Johnson over there because he's another Fresno, California kid. So that's my guy.
There you go. Anything you want to plug and promote before we call it a show, man? Again, people can subscribe to the Closer Sports, and again, all you have to do is just type in Closer Sports. Let me share your page on the screen because the visual helps out often. This is your official YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. Show some love to Mark's page, which includes Bleav in Kings, which includes football programming. By the way, how was NFL week 1 for you, man? I mean, it was fun. Great game.
Yeah, I'm 1-0 in my fantasy league, so
nice.
Things are going well. I'm actually the defending champ in my league.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make this two years in a row. And yeah, that's I'm feeling good right now, man. I'm feeling real good. I still got some text messages to send out. I like to, I do a Yahoo one, and it sends you the weekly recap or whatever, and it tells you what you did good and blah blah blah. Give you a grade. I always screenshot that and I send it to the group. Nobody else does it, but I want you to know what we do over here on Team Haynes.
Well, isn't that like half the reason you even do fantasy sports is just to talk shit and be with
that's
your friends?
That's all. Yeah, that's yeah. I don't really. If I win it all, I'm happy. But it's week to week to me. Like I just need one win. If I can mess up somebody else's season, I'm okay with that too.
Armando Lara giving love to the Golden State Valkyries, who unfortunately lost tonight. Still giving some flowers to Natalie Nikase, who's likely going to win Coach of the Year. But the Valkyries did lose. That was a tough loss for them. And again, V for Valkyries, we do that every week with Sophia Jones, and we do the I-80 crossover every week. Mark Haynes, you can follow him on all social media platforms at Mark Haynes NBA. Are we done? Is that it?
I think so. I think we did it all.
All right, man. Always a pleasure. We're back next week, dude.
Until next time,
dude. This is fun, man. I'm enjoying this. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.